What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racenews.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. Well, let's go to Keeneland Saturday, October 19th, race 7 on the card. It's the Grade 3 Perryville Stakes, 7 furlongs, the distance, $300,000 the purse in this one. When you read it like that, we're 2 weeks from the Breeders' Cup, you don't look at the field. It's like, yeah, it's a Perryville. It's not a bad race usually, but it's not that exciting. Well, guess what? It's very different this year. This is a very exciting race. Let me just put it up on the screen now. We got a full field of 12. I'm sure if you're looking at this at the screen right now, you go, hey, I've heard of a couple of these. I remember these. They were supposed to be good or they were really good, and then they kind of disappeared on us. Well, they're back. So let's go through it now. Let's go through it horse by horse here. There is a field of 12, like you said, 2 also eligibles as well. And let's start with the number 1, Henro. This is a horse last time out. Won the Harrods Creek Stakes at Churchill Downs and did it pretty nicely by a length and a half. West Virginia Derby, not so good. 2 races back, but 3 races back did win the Iowa Derby. Of course, an allowance winner at Oaklawn Park earlier in the year as well. So Chris Hartman's got this horse running well. I think 7 furlongs hits this horse right between the eyes. I think that's where he needs to be. I think a lot of years this horse would not be 12-1 on the morning line. And I think it's kind of bad luck who he has to face in this spot. Like I said, the Perryville usually not an easy race to win by any means, but it's not as tough as this usually. But Henro at 12-1 in with a chance. Number 2, West Saratoga is next. Of course, this horse 2 races back ran in the Kentucky Derby and ran 12th, kind of a non-threatening race. Last time out just didn't run well. Ran 5th in the Matt Win, beaten 13.5. That was disappointing because this has been a horse, throughout his career, he's kind of, if he hasn't won, he's at least hit seconds or thirds. So the last 2 efforts, the Derby, you kind of throw out. The Matt Win, not very good. He's had a long layoff since. He cuts back to 7 furlongs. I don't think that'll be the worst thing. He's ran well on 1-turn miles before. He's ran okay at 7 furlongs before as well. So I think cutback helps. He's 30-1. I don't know that he should be 30-1, but he kind of looks a little unlikely to win this race. The number 3 is Knightsbridge, and that's where it gets fun. This is a horse that debuted on November 4th of last year at Churchill Downs and looked awesome. He won by 10.5, looked like a star. It was a long time till we saw him again. March 28th at Gulfstream Park, he ran an allowance going 1 mile. He looked awesome. He looked like a star. We haven't seen him since that race. 205 long days waiting for this horse. This Godolphin homebred has been tremendous in 2 starts. He's looked flawless. He's in good hands with Bill Mott. He just can't stay healthy. That's the bad news. But the good news is he's won at 7 furlongs. He's also won at a mile. I think this horse is really, really good. I have since the very first time I saw him. We'll see. We'll see if he comes back. I mean, I don't think they're running him here unless he's doing very well. If he's doing very well, he'll be very tough to beat. Number 3, Knightsbridge. I think everybody looking forward to seeing him. The number 4 horse is Houday. Look out for Houday as well. Look, this is a horse that has competed, was an Ohio bred, in Ohio bred races, and now has competed against some of the tougher ones and did okay. Ran 4th in the Pat Day, 2nd in the Matt Win, 3rd at Ellis Park in the Ellis Park Derby. And then last time out does get the job done in an allowance at Belterra. So went back to Ohio to kind of get a win, get some confidence. But look, he hits the board. He runs well. I like him in the spot here. But again, he's kind of a horse that, kind of like Henro. In a lot of years, a horse with this kind of resume wins this race. Now, this can be tough. It's going to be tough. And why? Because of Knightsbridge, because of a few more we'll talk about in a second, and because of one we'll talk about right now. What about the number 5, Bookham Danno, who has just been awesome this year when sprinting. You look at his season, of course, he won the Pasco by 12, 12.5 at Tampa. He went over and he ran in the Saudi Derby, and he almost defeated Forever Young. He got 2nd, beaten only ahead in that race, came back to win the Woody Stevens, then won at Monmouth Park, a small race over there, the Jersey Shore. And then last time out was 3rd, beaten a length and a quarter in the Grade 1 Alan Jerkins Memorial. So, I mean, at this distance, he's been awfully good. He's going to be awfully tough to beat. Favorite at 2-1, a horse that, like I said, he's just hit the board all 9 times he's ran. He's a fun horse. He's faced tough horses before. So, yeah, he's looking very, very good in this race as well. Bookham Danno just adds to this great field. The number 6 is Good Looking Justice. This is a horse coming off of an allowance win at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Indiana bred horse here, pretty darn good, honestly. but ran in mostly Indiana bred races until that race last time out with a victory there at 1-5. Big time step up in class. That's a big question mark, right? And look, 9 races, first and second in all 9. Good horse. This is a little bit of a question mark today from a class standpoint, but it's time to give this horse a shot, and that's what they're going to do. The number 7 is Patriot Spirit. This one also coming off of a win at Colonial, an allowance race, and 2 races back. Also one at Hawthorne in the Illinois Derby. So pretty nice one here as well. Going to step up in class a little bit once again here. Was in the Sam F. Davis, didn't do much. Did cut back in the next race in Hutchinson at Gulfstream and won at 6-1. This is another one. The horse is 15-1. This is not a bad resume. This horse, when going one turn, is pretty damn good. So once again, it's just another one. You look at him and go, this horse can run here. There's no question about it. Just in with pretty tough ones across the board. The number 8 is Banjo Chris. This might be one that you're a little bit leery of. The resume is still not awful, though. Got to win 2 back at Canterbury in an off the turf allowance race where, pretty much nobody was in it. He was 2-5. Broke the maiden at Churchill Downs in an off the turf maiden special weight. Was second last time out at allowance at Churchill Downs at 25-1. So outran the odds. Only got beaten 3/4 of a length, but just couldn't get it done. But anyway, I kind of like Banjo Chris a little bit here. Not a bad horse. Not a bad horse at all. But again, he's in with a lot of toughies. I think it's an underneath type at a little bit of a price. I don't think he is a win candidate. The number 9 is Dilger. This horse last time out was 3rd to Henro. Has been okay. Hit the board in allowance at Saratoga. Hit the board in the Lexington earlier in the year. Just 1 win, though, in 8 starts. Really tough. This is one I can't support. If you're kind of like between the 8 and the 9 of maybe who I want to use in 3rd or 4th in a try or a super, I would actually choose the 8. I think the 9 is just in a little too tough here. Don't give this horse much of a shot. Number 10 is Locked. Yes, that's right. Locked. Remember him? Well, you may not, because he only ran 351 days ago. He was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile the last time we saw him. That's the bad news. It's been a while. The good news is he looked like he had a bright future at one time. He was 1st in the Breeders' Futurity right here at Keeneland, where he won by a half length. He also broke his maiden by over 7 lengths at Saratoga. The horse is cutting back. I think people really kind of view him as a 2-turn runner. This could be a little bit of let's get his feet under him before we stretch him out type of situation. We'll see how that goes. But quality horse, there's no question about that. Perhaps the most quality in the race comes from this one. I'm excited to see him. I don't know that he can win this race off that kind of layoff going the short. I tend to think no, but I tend to think he'll come with a little bit of a run and we'll be like, okay, maybe he's back a little bit. So it's really fun to see him in this race. Locked versus Knightsbridge in the Perryville on October 19th. That's really not what I thought would happen when we started this year, but it's here and I don't know. It's kind of exciting, right? All right. The number 11 is Love Me Tender. This horse is 2 for 2, undefeated. Ran both races at Colonial. Broke the maiden by 4 and then won an allowance by 4.5. So nice horse here. Again, kind of reminds me of the 6. Pretty good horse. Knows how to win. Got to prove he can do it against much tougher. That's going to be the big question for the 11, Love Me Tender. And then finally, the number 12 is Epic Ride. Listen, this is a horse a lot of people liked, and I would put my name in that category if I like this horse. Of course, was at Turfway Park earlier in the season. Was able to win a couple of races there, including a stakes race. Ran 2nd in the John Battaglia, and then went to the Bluegrass to run 3rd, beaten 5 1/4. Then ran in the Kentucky Derby and was 14th in that race. Didn't make any kind of an impact. So what can he do today? What can he do in this spot? I'm not sure. Long layoff, cutting back. I kind of think the cutback will be okay for this horse. I think 7 furlongs will be okay. There's crazier 20-1 shots, right? There really is. But at the end of the day, I don't know that he's going to be good enough in the spot off the layup. But we'll see. I would not give up on this horse. And if worse comes to worse, Turfway Park's coming around the bend here pretty soon. He can go back down there and win some races, I think. It'd be pretty tough on that synthetic surface. All right. That's the field of 12. It's time to pick a winner. And I'm going to go with the horse that I have been ultra high on for a long, long time. Can't believe that it's October 19th, 2024, and we're seeing him for a stakes race for a first time. but that's where we're at. I'm going to go number 3, Knightsbridge, to win this race. I thought his 2 performances were really good. I really thought after the Churchill Maiden back in 2003 in November, I thought this could be a Kentucky Derby candidate. He came back late there at Gulfstream March 28th. I still thought, well, maybe Preakness, Belmont, something. And no, never saw him again after that. But he's back. To me, if he's ready to run, I think he's the best horse in the race. So I'm going to go number 3, Knightsbridge, on top to win the Grade 3 Perryville at Keeneland. All right, guys, that'll do it for the preview of the race. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Keeneland on Saturday.